Okay, 38. First of all, I would like to put on a disclaimer that if you are in my class, or really if you're at my school in some other grade 10 class, we've stopped doing this in grade 10 because these revenue questions we do in grade 11 and we do them in a different way, so we found that teaching you this way was kind of confusing. But anyways, I'm going to do it anyways. So, optional question. Usually 200 tickets sell for $60 each. Now, someone has found that for every $5 increase, you sell 10 fewer tickets. We're going to find the price to maximize the revenue. Okay, now, here's the trick to the equation, is we are going to let X represent the number of increases. Now, next year in grade 11, we're going to always let X represent the number sold, and we're going to make up some equations, and it gets a little bit more difficult. But this way is actually much easier. So, let X represent the number of increases. Now, if that is the case, then you're going to get two equations. Well, let's look at revenue first of all. Revenue is equal to your number sold. So revenue is basically the amount of money that you will bring in. So it's not like your profit. You don't have to subtract costs. It's just how much money comes in. And the amount of money coming in is going to be the number that you sell times whatever price you sell them for. So that's how we're going to get our revenue equation. So in order to get the revenue equation, we first of all need a number sold equation. So the number sold is going to be equal to, well, there's our number sold numbers, 210. So 200, but then we're going to minus 10 tickets for every increase, because X is representing the number of increases. Now, our price equation. Our price is going to be $60. And that price is going to be $5 more. Whoops, I don't need a dollar symbol there. So it's going to be 60 plus $5 per increase. So there's my two equations. Now let's make the big equation. R is equal to 200 minus 10x, 60 plus 5x. And there's our revenue. So revenue is number sold times price. X is representing the number of increases. And now they want me to maximize the revenue. Now, got an idea where this maximum revenue is going to show up? Well, revenue is going to be an equation that opens down because it has a maximum. And the maximum is going to be at the vertex. So what I'm actually going to calculate here is I'm going to calculate this axis of symmetry, H. Now, there's two ways to do that. If you want, you can expand and simplify this thing, and then complete the square, and you'll get the vertex. Or we can do it the other way. I'm going to find my zeros here, because it's easier to find the H value by just finding my zeros here. Remember that it is constant over coefficient. So in this case, my zero is 200 over 10. So it's equal to 20. So from this bracket, what makes this bracket go to 0? 20 does, because then it goes to 200 minus 200. Now, what makes this bracket go to 0? It's constant over coefficient, so 60 over 5, but this one's going to need a negative because it was positive in here, so I got to switch the signs. So 60 divided by 5, and I shouldn't need a calculator for that. It is negative 12. Okay, so those are my zeros, 20 and negative 12. Now, how do I get my axis of symmetry? From my zeros, well, I add them together, divide them by 2. So 20 minus 12 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So my H value is equal to 4. So that is how I'm going to maximize. So to get a maximum revenue, I'm going to use an H value of 4. So I need 4 increases. That makes sense to you guys? So H is the X value, or the axis of symmetry would be X equals 4. So H is the X value. Now, how do I get my maximum? Well, if I wanted my maximum revenue, they didn't ask for it, but if I wanted my maximum revenue, I would take this X and I would plug it into the revenue equation. What they want is they want to know the price in order to maximize. So when I use 4 increases, that will maximize, and the price, so now I'm going to take this and plug the X into price, so I get, let's try rewriting that. I'm just going to use this whole page. So price is going to equal 60 plus 5 times 4, because I want 4 increases, and that's then going to go to 80. Now, reread the question, just make sure I answered it right. Blah, 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 blah. Determine the price that should be charged to provide the max revenue. Okay, yeah, so that's all they want. Therefore, the price, let's say therefore a price of $80 should be charged to maximize revenue. Catch all that? That was a lot of work. Let X represent the number of increases. Get your number sold and price, plug them into your revenue equation, get a revenue equation. Because it's in factored form, you have these two brackets, you can just go straight to finding zeros, add them together, divide them by 2 to get your X's symmetry, and plug that X into price to find your price. If they wanted to know max revenue, you would take that 4 and plug it into revenue to figure out what the max revenue was. Oh yeah, remember, my class, this will not be on your exam.